Hello, hello. It's JJ DiGeronimo with Together We Seek, and I'm so excited for this week, as I am many weeks, to bring these amazing energy practitioners, healers, light workers, mystics on their journey, that they have uncovered many of their gifts and they're now sharing them with the world to help each soul illuminate their path. And Diana and I met a few weeks ago, which I was so excited about it, thanks to my friend Angela. Angela and I have been friends for about 15 years and maybe 20 now, actually, probably 20. And we share different energy experiences and practitioners. And when she gave me Diana's name, I was obviously very excited, but I didn't feel drawn to meet with her right then. And Diane just mentioned that it's been a year. And just about 8 weeks ago, I reached out to her based on my travel and was able to meet her. And I have to say, it was perfectly orchestrated. The timing could not have been better for me. So, Diana, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So, what I loved about you when I met you was just the pureness, playfulness, the groundedness that you share when you open the door. I felt like that was so powerful in so many ways. And I was so excited to just have that one on one time with you.
Same. And, as we were talking right before we started, I just think you reaching out now is such an ideal time because if you had reached out last year, I don't know that I would have been able to talk to you. I was going through so many changes. So now it just feels like it's so aligned. And I was so honored to have you as part of my journey. And it's always a reflection back and forth. I feel like you reflected so many things back that I just needed to hear, when we got together. And so, yeah, thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm honored. So maybe you could share a little bit about the work that you do.
So it's I don't even know how to explain it, but it's energy healing, it's shadow work, it's somatic healing. It is helping people connect with their inner essence, their soul, their spirit, and access the healing that is already inside of them. That is very natural.
That's so interesting. So when you say the healing that's already inside of them, what do you mean by that?
We think we're missing something. We think we're imperfect. We think we're not whole. We have a lot of limitations as part of the human experience. And so we've really forgotten that we are fractals of an eternal consciousness, God's source. And it's ever co creative. And we have that same power inside of ourselves. We've just forgotten. And so we get sick. We suffer a lot. We have a lot of pain as part of, it's our relationships and emotions. And I think there's over like 200 clinical mental disorders. So the psyche has been really fragmented and we experience separation. And we don't remember that we truly are whole. And that is the way through. So when we drop out of the mind and we drop into the heart and into the body, we can access the healing. We can access that co creation. We start to awaken to who we really are, which is a soul, it's an eternal essence, it's this sacredness of creation. And it really just changes how you live life and how you relate to all of creation, to everyone and everything at all times, everywhere. So it gets me really excited.
I can tell, and you talk about it so naturally, so fluidly. How, well, I definitely want to talk about how you help people connect with that energy and how you help them through their soul and shadow work, because I feel like so many of us we're knee deep in experiences and situations. And oftentimes we don't step out to be like, yeah, why is this happening to me? What am I doing? Why am I in this energy? So when people call you or reach out to schedule time with you, are there different themes that you're seeing?
Yes. We all have different things going on, but at the end of the day, I think it's very similar. Even though it shows up in a different way for everybody, most of us, and I would say 100%, actually, I wouldn't even say most, okay? We think we don't deserve when we think we're not good enough. And that stems from this internal space of separation and feeling that we are limited And so there's so many insecurities, and then we have to overcompensate. And so when I help people, I would say I make, first of all, safety for them in their body to be able to face these fears and these limitations and these part of themselves that have been completely repressed. And most of us, like, really, people in my personal life that are not part of my, that don't come to me for professional help, they don't want to take a look at themselves. And I think that's why most of humanity is just walking in unconscious most of the time. And they don't even know why they do what they do. So I always say that like 95% of people are just children in adult bodies having tantrums, and they have all these emotions and the subconscious part of themselves that has the emotions, but then they're a grown up and an adult, and you see them fighting with each other, and it's very chaotic, and it's just, we're all in separation all the time. So I think how I help people is really coming back to the body, facing the fears, the insecurities, allowing the memories to resurface. And we do that a lot with breath work. I mean, I do open energy, but there's a lot of breath work that goes into it. And I have found, and I don't think I'm the only one that has said this, but breath is the key that unlocks your own consciousness, and the body is memory. All, like, inside of ourselves, we really do have all the information that we will ever need. And it's just amazing when you can start to tap into that and unlock what's already there.
So beautiful. I love that. I 1000% agree with you. I think many of us hit crossroads and situations that really force us to dig deep. And if we're lucky enough to have people around us that guide us in different ways, or we've met with an energy practitioner, or we went to Reiki, or maybe we've done some type of tapping or breath work or theta healing, we can reach those depths of emotions, I find, much easier than if we just try to like dig it out ourselves. And that's really why I started this podcast, is because I wanted to give people an opportunity to see all the people available to them to really help them do the excavation work in a trusted environment with souls that have also done the work.
Right. And I don't think it's a select few, people that are intuitives. We are all intuitives. We can all unlock healing from the inside. And hopefully, in the work that I do, I really do think I remind people of that. And just by tapping within, I'm a big believer of breath work, but I also channel a lot of light. We do have like natural bioluminescence. And so, can I dive into a story?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Before I really even knew much about energy work, it was my early 20s, and I was suffering from migraines. And I would meditate a lot. Like, I've always been a big meditator, and I've always kind of like in prayer and in meditation, I've always felt a lot of light. At the time, I didn't really know what it was, but I started playing. I was just playing with the light. And so with the migraines, I would make little balls of light, and I would literally bring them in and have it sort of pull out the pain and the headache. And I mean, over some time, the migraines just completely went away. I never suffered from migraines again. So that was kind of how I really tapped into energy work for the first time. It was a discovery. And now I use different frequencies, different lights with different issues. But at the end, it's just visualization. It really is just visualization of light and experiencing that. And light is information, and we are very much light beings, which, we all resonate with the term light worker and starseed, but we really are just fractals of light.
Mm, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I feel like we're all teardrops of God.
Yes.
And we all came down here for the experience and to feel things and to help one another. And obviously, most of us have lost our way for some period of time. And then we really work to sort of figure out, okay, yeah, why am I here? What am I doing? And I think that's where these souls that are 5, 10, 15 steps ahead of us often help remind us, like, remember this, remember that, just like these conversations. So I love that, because I write about in my book, Seeking, I write about lassoing the energy. And I do, like, if I have pain or if I have situations, I physically visualize me going down to the area of my body and lassoing the energy and like pulling it out of my body. And I have had that work so many times where I'm just like removing the energy that I
Yep.
feel is hurting me.
Yep. And that's really, it's as simple as that.
Hmm. So was that the beginning of your work that you're doing now, or did something kind of come? Was there a crossroads for you? Was something happened where you really started to dive in? Because to me, that's like a glimpse of your gifts. And then how did you activate those gifts for the work that you're doing now?
So I definitely had a dark night of the soul, as many of us do. And there's not just one, there's a lot. But that was the first big one. It was around 2013. I started experiencing sleep paralysis. I didn't know what was going on, but I was basically being held down. And all I could see were literal just hands like on top of me. And I knew I was very much awake and I wasn't asleep and it wasn't a dream, but I couldn't open my eyes. And so I just saw like dark figures and these dark hands over me. And it was very traumatic. It was very hard. I didn't know what was going on. My mom freaked out because I called her as it happened one day and she had her own experience where she like felt chills and she said she levitated inside the house. And so we knew there was a problem. And thank God for my mom because really she is such an open soul and such a conduit and I wouldn't be who I am if it wasn't for her being as free and accepting as she is. So after that, we started seeking answers. And, you talk about bringing people together. And I'm so glad that people exist that are able to see beyond, right? The intuitives, the healers, the shamans. And basically, I went to a tarot reader and she started reading cards. And my entire life, she didn't know who I was. She didn't know anything about me. She had me write my name and my birthday. And literally, it was all sort of there. And she said that it was my mother-in-law who did dark magic and she wanted power in the relationship, which definitely there had been some issues not too long before everything started. And I ended up having to get help from another woman. And when she read me, it was pretty much confirming the same information. And I just started diving into what is there beyond. And, it was very hard. I actually had trauma after everything stopped. I would like wake up in sweats thinking that it was happening again. I would go to sleep in my parents' bedroom because I was afraid to sleep alone. I divorced my husband because he didn't believe me. He would just tell me to lock the door. I'm like, this isn't a problem, about it's not criminals. We're talking about things beyond. And so it was a long process. And there was a lot of integration. I was definitely like out of my body for a long time after that, where I was seeing my life from like a bird's eye view. I would just wake up, brush my teeth, eat, go to work, come back, do the same thing, go to sleep. For about 6 months, I think another soul really took over because I just couldn't handle it. And yeah, after a while, I would say about a year later, I really, really started diving into the rabbit hole. And it was esoteric teachings and different religions and quantum physics and quantum mechanics and just energy. And I have probably absorbed as much information as a human being can absorb for the last 12, 13 years. But yeah, I'm grateful for it because it was my awakening into something more. And it led me to this work, which is very much in service to God and service to the soul, and in service to the greaterness of something else, right? Which is just love and peace and harmony. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Woo! I feel like I just have to breathe that out because obviously, like what comes forward to me is there's some kind of past life situation with that soul, and I think breaking free from that to do the work is really so illuminating because now I feel like Corby always says you can only help people as far as you have come. And you've done a lot of work, 12, 13 years of doing this work and digging deep and going to these practitioners. as an intuitive energy healer, you do theta healing and you clear energy blocks and restore balance in other souls. And I feel like that's amazing because they're going to come to you with all different types of stuff and energies and different levels of energy and different colors of energy. And you are able to tap into what you've done to help them release.
Yes, and energetically, our DNA and our cells are very much alive and they are always speaking to each other. So when people come in, there's this exchange, and it's a very somatic sort of exchange that happens between the DNA, and there is no time and space. So it doesn't matter, if you're there and I'm here, there is just resonance. And so the things that I have embodied, it really isn't intentional work, but it's almost like here's the information and it gets written. It gets written to a sort of disc that I've seen below the feet. So it's very cool. And I'm still learning. I think we all are. It would be ignorant to say that I know all. And, humility is a key. But yeah, it's just to witness energy and to witness the information and people's experiences. It's so beautiful and so great and so rewarding.
It is so great and rewarding. I have to say that it really helped me a lot. I've been doing work on my throat chakra for, I would say, at least 8 years, maybe longer. And, to lay with you, to be with you, as we went through all the chakras, it was so evident that I was still holding on to something in my throat chakra and also in my ovaries. And it's almost like when you started bringing attention to those areas, I had images pop up of exactly what those things were. And we met like on a Saturday, and on a Tuesday or Wednesday, it was amazing because I had been holding sort of a talk track situation deep, deep, deep. And in a heated situation, it just all came out. And it was almost like I could not believe I said it the way I did, that it came out the way it did. And even though it was just so much, like I felt like I was on Ghostbusters, like this big green goo was coming out my mouth. I have felt lighter ever since. So I think like unlocking different things, even, even though I felt a physical difference when I left, it was days later that it actually came like right out. And I feel like it came from the sacral chakra up, all the way up. And I don't know. I don't think that's coming back for me. And that was amazing. And I've been doing energy work for over a decade now. So to still find things that are stuck and hindering, I think, in some level was so powerful. Or is so powerful.
And it feels like that's work that I've done on myself. So, the work that I really do on others is things that I have already sort of done and overcome and experienced and purged and cleared out. And sometimes I do wonder, I'm like, is it ever going to be over? And it's not. It's just this beautiful evolution. And I was talking to a family member recently, and she's like, I don't want to cry all the time. I don't know that I want to heal. Like, when is it over? It's just, there's a greater capacity that comes with it where it doesn't stem from suffering and hurt anymore. And you can really process things way faster and just integrate it, and it's done. And it's, 5 minutes where maybe, it was weeks or months or years before. So it's all about doing it with awareness and just witnessing yourself. And so you were already so open and ready, and just happy to be a conduit.
Oh, it was fantastic. I feel lighter. I really do. I feel lighter, and I feel like it was, every time I meet with different energy practitioners, I feel like it's a layer, it's a nugget, it's a corner that I'm just kind of pulling out. And I agree, it does go faster and faster. And really, my whole goal is to create more room for light, but also really be in my life's work and really be in my full essence. And I don't want to be weighed down by things that happened a decade ago or even longer. And so I really think you create such a supporting environment for individuals navigating the resistance, possibly navigating the fear, navigating the self-talk, So I really love what you do for people. Do you want to, I guess, what's up on the horizon? How do people meet with you if they feel like they are resonating with you and like, yeah, I had to work through some of this energy. What is the best way to reach you?
So my website is celestialelevation.com. Usually that's the best way to reach out to me, whether it's booking a session or just contacting. I'm getting ready to do more meditations on YouTube, and I'm changing a little bit from celestial elevation to elevating consciousness in general. And it's been really cool to play with energy through sound and videos and just putting transmissions of energy into videos. So that's kind of where I'm at. But for one-on-one sessions, yes, just reach out online and I'd be happy to help.
And do people have to do anything before the session, or what can they expect?
Drink water, be ready to release.
Yes.
We really are these beautiful water beings, and so much energy is like, if we're dehydrated, you cannot process energy. So hydration is just like, we should be overhydrating every single day and making sure that water has a lot of like good minerals and is clean and purified. I could do a whole podcast with you, different podcast on water alone. But yeah, hydration. And
I
be ready
definitely
to
want to do that. I definitely want to do a water podcast because I've obviously read the book, The Messages in the Water, and all of that, and the frequency of the water. But I think water is so important. And, we definitely have to do that. But I think for everybody listening, if you feel like you're holding resistance, if you have a talk track that you cannot get out of, if you have reoccurring triggers that come up for you, meeting with Dayana online is a great way to just help that flush through your body, to ground the energy, to let the light source come in and guide and aid you in releasing. So with that, I just really enjoyed meeting you. Thank you, Angela, for connecting us. As you know, I'm just thrilled to bring amazing souls together in this way that we can help each other and share what we're going through, because I feel like stories are so powerful, but the work that we do behind the scenes to release the stories is even more tremendous.
I agree, and thank you for bringing us all together. I'm excited to witness your work and the networking that you do to bring all these amazing souls together. So thank you for having me.
Well, thank you so much. And I'm so honored for all of our listeners and all of the soul beings that come together and connect on a regular basis. Like, we are here to illuminate the planet and remind each other why we're here, and that to make our way back home, checking the boxes off that we have set forth for ourselves. So thank you so much, Dayana, for joining me. And I look forward to joining everyone again here soon.